2023. Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending into fourth dimensional collective consciousness. Azure,
Grand Rising Captain.
can you give me the update on third dimensional planet Gaia?
Yes, Christo, with pleasure. Gaia 3D currently is under critical condition. It seems there is a large amount of humans that have forgotten who they are, causing confusion, division and war driven by fear.
Thank you, Azure. Before we head down to Gaia, can you give me any information about the 3D world, as it's been a while since I've been there?
Sure, the 3D Gaia. We will face much resistance from negative polarity beings as a dual plane. Karma and Dharma are in effect. There is free will. It will be wise to protect our energy and hold love.
Alright, thank you, Azure. Sounds like we have quite the task at our hands. But that's why we're here, and that's why we've been called upon in the Galactic Federation to go down to planet Gaia, the 3D realm. Alright, Azure, let's get ourselves ready to go. Let's hit the time portal and make sure we land in the present day, Mother Gaia, third dimension. Whoa, oopsies. Yeah, not that one. Okay, let's try this one. Maybe this is the portal. Oh yeah, Azure, this is a little too far in the future. I think we need to kind of go back a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Modern day Earth.
Captain Christo, as we approach, I will prepare our guest suite on the mothership for the souls we hold space for. Oh, and Captain, I will be sure to leave plenty of storage for earthly food delights to take for our travels.
Oh my gosh, Azure, you never fail to make me laugh. You know those earthly delights? That good old food of earth. Absolutely gotta have that food of earth. Thank you, Azure. Alright. It is time. It's time to make our way down to 3D Gaia. To hold space, show love, compassion, bridge the conscious collective, and help provide knowledge and wisdom and tools so fellow souls can remember who they are, live in a unified mind state, with a harmonious being, with holistic, conscious practices and tools that they may access efficiently and quantumly.
Welcome aboard. I am Azure. Please get cozy. Grab a tea, snacks or crystals as we prepare for a sacred light conversation. The sacred holding space is down the hall to the left. Wholeness, balanced love.
Welcome everybody to this wonderful episode of this podcast. And today on this Sacred Light Conversation, I, your host, Marcus Christolight, will be sitting with a beautiful couple that is very musically gifted, as well as very tapped in and tuned in with bringing wonderful, wonderful spiritual energy to all of our lives here on this planet. And Daniel and Thistle, Grand Rising, is with us today as we explore a little bit about our journeys, as well as what it is in the depths of this musical medicine that they offer and deliver through their sound waves that they bring. So, with that being said, welcome to the podcast and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hey, Christo. Thanks for having us on here. We're really excited to be here.
Absolutely. It's an honor to share space. And with that being said, let's just dive in. If you guys are open to it, do you guys mind sharing and helping us explore a little bit about who you guys are and what it is that Grand Rising delivers through their music and why you guys have this passion to serve?
Totally. I go, oh, she's looking at me. Well, I guess I'll start off with the whole Grand Rising. I mean, good morning, as everyone likes to say. Awakening is we all like to see and be part of. Everybody's seeing it. Everybody's enjoying it. Everybody's kind of culture smashing and everything's coming together here all at once. And, you know, I always heard a lot of wake up, everybody, wake up, everybody. You hear that all the time. Wake up, people, wake up. Why won't they wake up? But it does seem like the people have woken. It really does. The people are awake. And that's one of my biggest messages right now through being the main lyricist is saying good morning to everybody, you know, and kind of looking around and seeing what we do have and kind of counting our fingers and toes after that long night there and kind of grabbing our power back and, you know, and talking about that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to bring through the music. I've kind of lived that kind of lifestyle and it's starting to come through, and me and Thistle together as a team are shining that out.
Thank you for sharing that. I know I really appreciate it because a lot of times in this human life, it's very easy for us to psychologically turn into the negative or look at, you know, the most dramatic outcome of something or be in fear of the future constantly. And, you know, I always am trying to do that as well to people is kind of not change people, but redirect their focus in a way of, hey, you know, there is, you know, negative polarity. There's also positive polarity too. And we as alchemists, we get to decide with our perception through free will and our vibration of where we are aligning our belief systems and perspective with the different contrast or timelines, you can say, that we can perceive, manifest, and interact with in our daily experience. So with that, you know, that's why I love like the teachings of the Buddhist or Yeshua with the golden ray energy, just talking about how, you know, although things are going on in the outside world, although there's chaos, although there is things outside of me that could easily dictate me, they could easily change my emotional state or have me think doom and gloom. At the same time, there's a eternal spirit that is connected inside of me throughout all of it, that is omnipresent and can illuminate me in any moment if I choose to focus on that or just be aware of it or do different things to invoke it. And
it's always there. It's always there in between all the lines, holding everything together. And you're totally right. Like, it just depends on where you put the focus and where you put the energy on. You know, everyone's trying to manifest the future in front of them, and controlling that environment that you have around you, and acknowledging that that environment does have a power over you as well and does influence you, but you can influence it, your environment. And that's something that's really important, and finding the positivity in your own environment. If you're hearing a lot of music, for example, about how you're in chains or how Babylon has you beaten down, or how you're in mind control, all these different things, or how the world is just in this bad place and we're going into a dystopia. These kind of images, messages, they can manifest into reality. And when your environment is bombarding you with these things, when you're sitting there in your own home listening to this on the radio, you want to manifest and invest into your own future. And when people invest into a future, into an idea, they put their energy or their money or whatever it is into it. They look around at their environment and see what's going on to make that prediction. And if your environment's telling you you're in chain and you're going into a dystopia, well, you're going to start bugging out and get your bug out bag and trying to run into the woods and all that kind of stuff. And, and maybe we should be turning around, focusing on that positivity and being, look at what's good here. Look at what we're creating.
Make it into a utopia instead of a dystopia by, putting that focus there and making decisions from a place of love rather than fear. I think that's the biggest difference that we can make on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. Is just like, am I making this decision because I'm scared, or is it coming from a deeper place of love? For others, for myself, whatever it might be, and making that decision then. And then I think, that has ripples, obviously. And if everybody does that, then the future is going to be more of that, isn't it?
And we have a great future ahead of us. That's really something I put in a message. It brings me to the lyrics, of Grand Rising, our self-titled song. It's like, I feel like we've never felt this before. And I feel like we've got up off the floor. And I feel like I feel like the night is finally over. So grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. It's really, really important to hear these kind of words and listen to this kind of music. You don't want to be hearing, Babylon, mind control, can't escape, then you're going to start feeling those kind of things too. So that's like a really big push for us, is to bring that positivity into focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. I really do. Because for me, I love just being able to give people knowledge, and not just knowledge, but like just knowledge of how to feel more connected. And through that, the more that you feel that interconnectedness within yourself, the more we just can really be that embodiment of the communities that we want to have. Mm-hmm. And it kind of really, goes hand in hand with what you guys were just talking on, which is, how are we choosing to mentally program ourselves, and not just ourselves, but those around us as well? Are we just impulsively saying, oh man, I'm never going to heal from this, This was so dramatic for me that I will forever be traumatized by it. And, although there's nothing wrong, and it's not about right or wrong with saying that, it's the knowledge of, oh yeah, that's right. Through my words and through my vocal and my tone and my vibration, I create an imprint that imprints into my subconscious and into my psyche. And then it manifests into my actual reality that I experience. So, it's so key to kind of like going into the Hermetic principles, or the Kabbalion, which is like the ancient teachings of Thoth the Atlantean. The first principle is the law of mentalism, and that is the all is mental, that everything in the universe is of the mind. So we are able to perceive, we are able to interact with, and we are able to manifest into different dimensions or realms, the alchemist, mental frequencies and vibrations that we are able to perceive and experience. So with that, that's where, the law of mentalism comes in about, where are we focusing our mental power? Because where we focus our mental power, our emotional state follows, as well as our physical matter follows. So just like we've been talking about, if we're just preaching doom and gloom, we're only focused on limitations, then we're just going to continue to allow those ripples to manifest more and more.
And everything does have its stage as well. So not to say like the preaching of the doom and gloom is so bad. It's more like we've kind of transcended that at this point, because the awareness was such a big thing. Just making everybody aware of the Babylon mind control, making everybody aware of the world around us and what we're in. That was a huge part of that night that I refer to metaphorically, was just being bombarded. Nobody really knew what was going on, where this anxiety was coming from, where these feelings were. But people have now woken up on such a degree, you know. Maybe it is just the circles we're in, because we are spoiled to be surrounded by such lovely people who are always, you know, really open-minded, and bringing that to the regular people on a day-to-day basis like we do. We out street music. If you didn't know, that's our bread and butter. We go out regularly, daily, and make music on the streets and bring it to the people, singing these songs and bringing this message, having those conversations, and kind of popping those social circles where people would never before hear of anything like this, you know, any of these ideas. And that's always fun. That's what we really kind of enjoy a lot.
I mean, we go to the busiest places and the biggest cities. I mean, we go all over, but you know, it's where you'll find the most people walking about, and stand there and sing as loud as we can. So we definitely make an impact.
Yeah, I've seen you guys up at the Findlay Market on some of your videos down in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our founder claims this right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with Christolight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe. And I gotta say, it's very inspirational, and it's really beautiful what you guys do. Doing exactly what you said, breaking those barriers. I'm someone that's so like that, you know, like it's very hard for me to live any way of like pedestals or just seeing myself or seeing others as like, oh, like, you know, this person's a host of this, so therefore they're like separate from the guest of retreats, or like, you know, these people are musical artists and they're practitioners, so therefore, you know, they got to be different than the guest. And like for me, it's like we're just all sharing space, and there doesn't need to be like real defining of that, so to say. It's like we're sharing space. Here's the intentions. Here are the things that we're doing in the space. But outside of that, you know, we don't really have to go any further on identifying things. You know, we're all just here to experience as a free will spirit, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, there's no reason for a pretense, you know, I'm putting it out there. Now, it's always fun to find out afterwards. You're hanging out with somebody and you're like, man, I didn't realize you were like this, like amazing, whatever it is, you know. It's like, wow, man, getting to know somebody before, because afterwards it could even be hard to see him in a different lens.
Yeah.
You
and
know
plus,
what I mean?
like, you talk about that too, like we're our own, the gurus of our time, is it that you say?
Yeah, that's out of that same
In the
song
same
too.
song.
No, that, yeah.
And I think that's really important, because there's a lot of gatekeepers still, you know, keeping traditions and all sorts of stuff. And I mean, obviously that has a place. Like, I love my culture. I'm from Scotland, and I think it's great. I wouldn't want to merge my culture with everyone else's necessarily. You know, I like things to be in their own place. But you know, at the same time, we are a generation that has the luxury of mixing and matching and getting to experience all these different cultures, especially in this country, because there's so many different people here, and it's great. It's wonderful. I think
it's so beautiful. Seeing the picture that we all paint together is what's so beautiful, and you really can't see that picture if you've got anybody trying to guide or manipulate anybody within the collective. You need everybody to have that freedom to kind of bloom as an individual. And then you could look at everybody as a whole and see where everybody's moving with that freedom of their own personal expression. And people also need to be allowed to make mistakes, you know, so they can feel free and not get bullied and feel like they could walk out with a feather in the middle of their head and you know, or some braids or whatever it is, or a painting, whatever it is that makes them feel like they're expressing the information or the energy that they feel like expressing. I feel like when people try to guide that and really push them and try to bottle them up, hey, you can't be doing that. And that's the kind of gatekeeper mentality, which does have its own place too, because we need to conserve these cultures. We can't just let them disappear. But at the same time, some people conserve, other people are just utilizing pieces and parts and making a smorgasbord creation, a new age idea. Like a lot of people could just call it new age, I guess now. But I think it's a grand rising.
Yeah, and what you were saying about, you know, everybody showing up and being equal, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're a musician or, you know, a gardener or a cook or whatever. You know, when you come together in a community, everybody is equal. And like we talked about doing a homestead, but now that we're on the road, that's not really practical for us. But one blessing is, like, especially when we go to like Cincinnati, and we've got friends there, Marielle, and she like takes us and she grows veggies, and we get to share in that and bring music, and they bring food, and it's like, it's great. Amazing. It's like if everybody shares what they've got to bring and sees it as of equal value, then everybody has everything that they need, and it's beautiful. And then everybody gets to bloom as well, which is like great. That's what community should be.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Now, you mentioned that you had a community that you like either stay with or you work with. Was that right?
So I actually host a international community online, and it's also some of our local people as well, and some of the people that we both and all know, and some of the scene that we're in. And yeah, it's really something that I don't want to use the word pride on, but it's something that I just like, I've really, really intentionally created this community space in ways that were just not of the average, so to say, of what I've been seeing. And I've been in like a few different online community spaces, and you know, that kind of gatekeeping mentality was kind of present that we were speaking on. And it was kind of weird and just didn't really sit in my spirit. Like I would pay to be in this community too. And there's this feeling of like, you know, if we tried to share outside events inside of the chat, you know, it would be like, oh, we only like promote our own events in here and stuff like that, like that type of stuff. And then like, you know, there's been a lot of people, including my own self, that have gone into online communities, and we just feel like there's like a hierarchy type of feeling. And if you're not a part of that hierarchy, then you just kind of get dismissed, and you don't really have a voice in the community and stuff like that. So those kind of things are like really factored into my experiences, and I then factored that into the community I created. And you know, this community I created, I really wanted to make sure that we all felt like we were sharing a space together as a community, and it wasn't about a hierarchy type of system, or you know, people couldn't network their self, or you know, bring their actual gifts to the table and promote for their living and the way that they provide bills for their family and their children and stuff like that. I want to support all of that. Like that's how I am. It's like I see you as a whole person. I hope you see me as a whole person. I understand that we live in polarity. We have bills, we have children, we have other things. So, you know, exchange is a pretty good thing to have. And if you have something that you've been passionately working towards and you're giving your all to, and you really truly want to uplift others and bring love into their life, then I don't see why I couldn't allow that into my community. And then not only that, but we also like boost each other by actually getting to know each other and know why it is and what it is that we offer, and help provide that and place it in the different areas that perhaps maybe I don't have the connection with, but maybe you have the connection with, and you're in the same community. So therefore, you can help them be able to get their self uplifted as well as we all grow together. So that's the kind of mentality I've always had with community and the spaces that I cultivate, is really bringing that. And just like in my retreat spaces, I love being able to give people hands-on knowledge about things. So instead of just having people show up to a sound bath and that's it, it's more like, you know, giving people the knowledge behind it, how it works, giving people kind of like an understanding of how they can use it and how they can do it as well. And it's not something that they always have to pay for from somebody else, or they have to depend on a Reiki master in order to do Reiki on their own self. Things like that. I love to really teach people how to self-heal and self-practice and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's so important. And I'm like that very much in music too. Like I always give kids little shaky eggs and let them strum the guitar, or, you know, if they want to dance, I'll play like an upbeat tune, whatever. Like I'm always telling people, encouraging people to do music, because I think it's so important. It's a huge, deep, ancient part of being human, and it's a spiritual connection to the source and to nature and to each other, and it's just so important.
There always has been direct access to the spirit. You know, people like to focus on how alcohol is called spirits and a spirit, which is, I mean, that's a path to talk about too. But I love to think about how music is so spirited. Music can really fill you with spirit or emotion, whatever you want to refer to spirit as, something that you feel inside that takes you away. You know, that's that thing within that moves you, and music moves you. Music has that power. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't, you know, that everyone's got to each their own and all that. But finding something or that person, you know, being the musician, finding somebody who's that perfect fit for your music is such a joy. Seeing it go and course through their body and just be like elated, like, oh, like it's such a joy. Like I like to think of myself, well, I know I am a very empathetic person. I could feel the joy that these guys have though. So, you know, it's not always, you know, empathy and pain. The empathy through seeing other people's joy, you know, and bringing that through music and seeing the crowd jump, seeing everybody just, you know, power. Like, it has that power.
You can move thousands of people at the same time without coercion, without manipulation, just in pure joy and love from music. And what else can you say? It's like
spreading a laugh. Like that's honestly, like that's a good thing to compare music to, like being a musician on spreading a laugh that just spreads louder and louder and louder from one person to the other. It's just watching joy happen and seeing it on the streets too, because you jump out there with your guitar and you're just like, whoa, you know, you strum that thing, and the crowd, you know, or the streets, it becomes a crowd, you know, they turn and they look, and it's just like, it's on, you know, welcome to the show. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But it's bringing that spiritual to people, you know. It settles down a minute and they sit down, and then the information starts coming in, and, you know, sometimes it's talking about the way I live my life, or the way we live our life. And then sometimes it is more direct, you know, talking about, you know, finding the joy in nature, the joy in sunshine or presence, and being there for that. And a lot of people, they, you know, they obviously leave comments, they walk away, but I know like it's transferring that spiritual energy that you put into it into somebody else. I can't even think of a better way to transfer like a spiritual message or spiritual feeling into somebody other than through music, which is why they use it, you know, in all churches and through all spiritual practices. You know, it's the way.
It's the way. Of it. Well, you know.
Yeah. Sound and light. That is the universal, that universal connection right there. Sound and light.
That's everything, is it?
Oh man, you know.
Light's a big one to put on too. That's a big subject, you know, just like sound is. But it's something I like to think of a lot as well. All lights cast a shadow, You know what I mean? And that's really important to think of as well. And being able to recognize what is shadow, what is light, you know, also using light as a metaphor for truth.
Yeah, you need that
mean?
discernment is so important. And it's not necessarily judgment over others, but it's just discerning what is right for you. You know, like it could be difficult if you get caught up, especially in 3D stuff, worrying about money, or, you know, especially when you've got kids and responsibilities and whatever, you know, it could be scary. But we've got quite a lot of faith in the universe. We've been on the road for 3 years now, and
yeah, 3 years
know,
is just coming up. I think it's this month
Yeah,
or something like that. It'll be 3 years. Driving around, making music, and just having this as our path. We fell over backwards into it. Never knew it was going to be a full-time thing, but you know, when we lived in the Matrix, you know, as three-dimensional people, which we definitely were. I mean, I know I was.
we've come a long way.
That time we needed more help from the government, more help from society than we do now.
And we had more
being
addictions.
independent also means being disconnected from the help. You know, we don't do food stamps, welfare, anything. We don't have anything coming in from any government, any program, nothing. But what we do have is infinite coming in from all the people around us, and the love and the community. And that's something you could bank on, like the love and joy of your friends and the support of others around you. It's been overwhelming. Literally, like, it fills me with butterflies even talking about it. The people are just helping us go. And I never knew that was going to happen. And it's just kept us going. They keep us going. We just almost, without asking, people just donate. They lift us up. They do things to help us out. They give favors or connect us with certain people, different gigs, whatever it is. The community has got our back. And you know, if you're listening and you're one of those people out there in the community, thank you so much. So appreciated. You know, I feel independent, but I feel in a community, which is like kind of a perfect blend.
Yeah, we were just talking about how, well, for me personally, I used to think being completely independent was great, and I worked really hard on it, and then it started to become like it caused me grief and disease and discomfort. And I feel like humans are supposed to live in community with others, not necessarily all sitting on the same piece of grass or whatever, but, you know, like what you're doing, the online community, just being able to have those connections that help each other and push each other up and push each other forward together. That's so important.
Man, such beautiful words about community. And I 100% agree and amplify all of that, because community's been everything for me in my life. You know, I'm someone that I really don't know many on my mom's side of my family. Like, I know my mom, my sister, I know like her parents, they're a direct family. Outside of that, I really don't know any of my mom's family. And then on my dad's side, I have no physical recollection of even meeting any of my dad's family besides my dad. So community is everything to my heart. And I treat all of that's around me as soul family, basically. And it's amazing how, you know, it seems like a lack or a loss of something in your life could be like something that would, I don't know, like offset you or do something in a negative way. But for myself, it has just given me even more inspiration and even more devotion to helping others feel like they have family and community around them. Because for me, I feel so content within myself and my connection to spirit that I'm not bothered by who I have around me. I could be solo dolo the rest of my life, just walking the path, knowing that every interaction is a blessing that I have. And I know for a lot that's not too comfortable for them, this journey. So, you know, community is definitely something I hold very dear to my heart. And I love being able to not only provide spaces, but also co-create spaces with others as well. And I also want to say too, for anybody out there that, you know, has really been looking for community or needing those sacred spaces, you can reach out to myself. You can also reach out to Grand Rising as well. And we are so connected to a lot of the Midwest area and a little bit beyond that as well, but really heavily in this Midwest area. And there is a lot of beautiful, selfless, and loving beings that we are around. So just know that if you guys are looking for a community, you can always reach out, and there's somebody that can resonate with you, I'm sure, that can help support you in your journey.
Totally. And it's the Midwest is a big focal point right now. Totally. And we travel nationally, but we're always in the Midwest. There's something about it. And it's a huge part of our story too. I used to live outside of Cleveland, and I used to go to Nelson's Ledges when I was growing up. And I used to be like, you know, hemp necklaces, all of the semi-precious gemstones you could even imagine, hand fasted, you know, to a lady named Phoenix, you know, the whole shebang. I was full on like running around barefoot from place to place, tie-dyed up. And that was like my life. And I moved over to the UK and lost that completely. I went on tour with my guitar, and then over time just slowly like changed into starting a family and having an office job and all that kind of stuff. And seeing a video that was sent to me while I was at work from Nako, like a promotional one, and seeing the same community, which it ended up being, I didn't know at the time it was like the same community, but it was the same like Midwest community as well, that I had just left, because he ended up the next year playing at Nelson's and doing stuff in that same community and working his way up. I was just reading about it. So it was cool. Like right after I left, he kind of moved in, but seeing that moment where I was like this whole other person and seeing the Midwest vibe from across the world, it pulled us back over. I told her that it existed.
Yeah, it doesn't exist in the UK.
I thought it existed everywhere in the world. I thought it existed everywhere in the US at least, but even you travel around the United States, and it's popping up in the West a little bit now. It's almost like it was born in the West and it moved out into the woods or something like that over time. But you know, the Midwest area is huge, and there's something magical going on. Even the natives knew it's like a special place. You know, you've got Serpent Mound there, which we visited earlier this year, which was lovely. And all some of the venues are like right near it. And you're wondering why all these people are gathering in the woods, taking all these shamanistic medicines and going on these spiritual quests with their music, and all the same areas that people in generations ago all used to do. There's something special about the Midwest, man. There is. I love it. Now we'll be back next year, that's for sure. We're on our way down south now.
Yeah, it's getting too cold for us.
Well, safe travels to you guys during your journeys. And you know, I love the Ohio land because it is like rich with native energy. Like you have Cherokee, you have the Hopewell are also out in this way. I learned that they were heavily around the Hawking Hills area in the Lake Hope area.
Such a beautiful place that we visited also.
Yeah. So I've been starting to host retreats out that way at Lake Hope, which is about 20 minutes from Hawking Hills in the state forest. And that's where I learned that they have a heavy connection to the Hopewell Indians there.
Wow.
Yeah, we wanted to play that retreat in like October or something, but we're already going to be too far south. But is that in the same area? Your retreat you're doing late October, was it?
Oh, the October shamanic retreat, that is going to be in Loveland, Ohio, which is towards Cincinnati area.
Nice.
That'll be really good.
No, southwest. Huh?
Yeah.
I always forget Cincinnati's like right there in the end, Illinois, and that. Starting to know the Americas pretty well now. We're about to hit our 50,000th mile in like 100 miles or so.
Wow.
150. I've been just watching it. I'm gonna miss it. I'll pass it, but we'll still just celebrate 50,000.
I know. We're always full of ideas, and then we never get time to do any of them. We're like, we're going to do a video and a map all where we've been. No, still. No. We're up to 50,000 miles now.
We get stuff done though, just not all the stuff. Yeah, we've got Lean Back. I was just working on it today, but it's our newest song, and that's getting recorded, and that'll be out soon within the next couple months or so.
Yeah, we recorded it up in the UK. We visited the Upper Peninsula for the first time, which was just beautiful.
Oh man,
looks a lot like Scotland.
I bet that was a treat. Oh boy,
yeah, it was lovely. We ended up turning around now because it was 39 degrees one night.
So cool.
I was like, "Woo, we're out of here!" $10 on the bridge, both ways. Wow, I was like, whoo, that's a steep price for a bridge.
I know. Wow. The tolls and the bridges these days are kind of like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah, I
man,
guess
that's good, man.
I'm
You
glad
guys are
it's
getting
there,
some
though.
good travels in.
Yeah, traveling has been a joy. Just the experience of the different cultures and the different towns.
It's such a privilege. And then I
It
always
really
look up
is.
different plants. I love plants, so I'm always finding out new things.
Oh,
That I
this
could
one over here.
forage. And then I've been learning a lot recently about Native Americans and their culture and what they use for medicines, because I'm all about that. I love that stuff.
Gosh, she's
So,
obsessed with plants.
I'm a little bit.
Sometimes I think like she's cheating on music with plants. And I mean,
Yeah, that would be fair.
music could be slipping.
Well, there's actually some cool things.
Good old plants, man.
She's seeing plants right now. She's
Yeah,
like grabbing them up.
This one here is a medicine. We call it mare's tail or horse's tail.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it's got a lot of silica in it, so people like to use that one for that. So
Yeah, it's
that's
amazing
cool.
what we have all around us, but just have no awareness of.
And we spend like a lot of time in nature. That's part of people think, man, how can you stay in the RV all the time?
Tiny.
And it's actually like the opposite. Like if you're in a house, you kind of stay in your house all the time. But in an RV, I mean, why would I want to park in like a boring place? We're at
Yeah, exactly.
lovely places all the time, and we're
Yep.
going on mushroom walks, and
Yeah, the kids are great. They love little mushroom walks.
found some Amanita muscarias yesterday.
And death caps. So
Nice.
Yeah, we
many.
found a bunch of death caps.
See, that's
Also
the
amenities.
best because like literally you have a comfortable bed, you're sheltered, you have things that you need inside, like a small apartment basically. But then you also have all of the different scenery and nature that you get to have around you. So it's like,
Yeah, and it's worth the
I mean-
trade-off. We've got enough comfort, I think, in our tiny little place. We could only have so
Yeah.
many possessions. We don't keep anything in storage or anywhere else. It's all with us all the time, and most of it's music
Yeah.
here.
Always go to like Planet Fitness. That's like a good tip, like for people on the road.
Yeah.
You want to keep showered. We have a shower in there, but we mainly use it to like squirt the kids off and stuff like that. Saves the water. And we're in Planet Fitness all the time. Also working out. Keeping
Mhm.
fit. That's a huge part of something. If people talk about spiritual stuff a lot, and they talk about philosophy a lot, which is obviously the meat of it. But a huge part of it is training your body to be able to process this stuff. And I know yoga is a really great blend of keeping your body health and staying spiritual. It's really difficult for a lot of people. It's difficult for me. I do it,
Me
but I
too.
still can't seem to like make it my thing as much as I want it to be my thing that I do. But when I get into like running and lifting weights, I feel like healthier, disciplined in my mind. I feel like happier. I feel like I have endorphins and I feel less stressed. And I know it seems like this isn't stuff that kind of influences you spiritually, but obviously it does. If you're stressed, it's hard to be spiritual. If you have pains, if you have low energy, if you're upset stomach, whatever it may be, like if you're not taking care of your body and you're not going to have a healthy mind or soul as well, get that rest that you need. Get that rest. Now I'm on a tangent. Stop the press. Get that rest. Who isn't sleeping out there? Get that rest that you need because it's so important. Sleep, and exercise. If you can't fight your diet, at least get yourself some sleep and some exercise.
And quit drinking pop. We were talking about that too, because it's
Oh,
so
man.
bad.
We're kind of health
Freaks
nuts.
me out. Not
There we
really.
go.
Not really.
No, we're
But you
Me
know
too.
about that because the work you've done with your dad is extraordinary. Like what you've done with him with the Reiki and all the different healing stuff, I think is phenomenal. So
Oh,
well
yeah.
done, and thanks for sharing that as well.
Absolutely. And for everybody out there, if you haven't yet, this was a paid promotion by Planet Fitness. No, just play it.
Oh, nice. That's right. Dropping it like there. Although they don't have some places, but tell you what, you got to stay showered.
If you are on the road and you have nowhere to shower, come to your local Planet Fitness.
That's the way. And I get,
man.
it's a big part of the Cracker Barrels was something I really needed to learn too when we were out there, like finding a place to park.
Oh,
if you
boy.
can't find one, Walmarts aren't doing it anymore.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel always lets you stay overnight.
Not always.
Well,
Man.
there's a few counties where it's like illegal. That's not their fault.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Cracker Barrel, though, is that they do that. I was just laughing because the whole controversy that happened with them.
I didn't even know about
that's
it until the other day. I was
I know
like,
that was
what?
hilarious.
You just
Yeah.
felt
Oh, I
weird.
saw that meme. Did you see the meme where it had like all of the other ones that had been like
Yep.
kicked out, and they're, hey, Cracker, how you doing? Which is hilarious because like it seems like it was the first like white person one to be removed or something,
Yeah.
which is hilarious.
Oh my God.
I can't believe they reversed it too. Now, things like that are really funny to me, but they're also really important. They're a lot more important than they seem. These kind of meme things it shows where society is, and it shows what society is focused on. And it is, they may seem silly, but it's a big subject to, realize how much sway and pull one tiny little image and one tiny little moment has on the entire fabric of your reality. Like, think about that. It might seem silly, but that's something I focus on in the song Babylon is Falling, is talking about that narrative and talking about that there being in more of awareness that there's people out there trying to control that reality through introducing concepts and ideas through the news. Like, this is happening out there. This is happening out there. And if you subscribe and you listen to what they're saying, it paints this picture of what you think is going on in the world. And by creating our own picture and using our own information and sharing our own knowledge through music or through stories around a fire or through your own art or whatever it is, conversation at these festivals, like painting that picture of our reality is a huge part of manifesting it in and bringing that future in.
Yeah.
There's obviously so passionate about that.
We went into art and music because we were doing a lot of protests and things in Scotland, and we realised it was only going to take it so far, but the real meat of it was in the music and the art, and that's where people are shaping different cultures and changing the way things are happening through memes and different things. Songs,
it wasn't
whatever.
just we were definitely activists, although where we lived at the time, it wasn't like a political activist, I guess you could say. It wasn't left-wing, right-wing type thing. It was more so when the lockdown came in, very few people refused to obey. I happened to be one of them in a small area, but with a lot of population that went outside when you weren't supposed to go outside, which turned me into an activist. But it
wasn't planned.
It was not planned. But when you tell you can't play music in the park and you play music in the park, all of a sudden you're an activist. When that journey did teach us a lot about putting information in music and the art of doing that, which is so ancient, putting those messages in the music and your information out there. It's so powerful. And, you can shout all day and you can march all day and say stuff in a protest format. But a lot of it is preaching to the choir. And there's also this just inherent aggression about it. There's just an inherent my way. I want you to know my way, hear my way about it. And with music, it's more of a subtle, like, this is what I'm up to. This is what I'm up to. You like this?
If not, just turn it
and
off.
that's the good thing, because it just moves on so quick. It's like a song and it's gone. It's like, I kind of didn't like that guy's song. That guy was talking about like lean back and chill. I say go lean forward and go get him. You know what I mean? And like to each their own. To each their own. So music felt so subtle, and it took that aggression away that I've got inside of me that everyone kind of has, but I just don't want to share. I don't want to push aggression on people. So there's some of the music it has it in it, and I could contain it in those songs and leave it there.
Yeah, it's almost
and
like
I feel
healthy
satisfied.
aggression.
Like it's like catharsis. Like get out there and Babylon is falling, and then just afterward be like sweaty. Get a drink and be like, I'm chill now. It's all over.
Yes. Oh man, it's been a great conversation, I gotta say.
Yeah, thanks so much for talking with us.
Thanks
it's been
for having
great.
us. I was so excited. And as I said, we really wanted to play that retreat to you and get to know you. And when I saw that coming up and it kept popping up in my mind, I was like, man, it'd be great to have that podcast we were talking about, and finally get to sit down and talk, because I missed you at Hope Fest as well.
I know, but I'm sure we'll be able to get something going for next year before we make all these other plans.
Yeah.
And actually get to hang out.
I do have, I have quite a few stuff going on still this year. I have 11/11 retreat that I'll be doing up here, probably in Ohio.
Nice.
Then I do a Soul Fam Thanksgiving event on 11/22.
Oh, that'll be nice.
And then I'll be doing a New Year's retreat as well. So
Very good.
I
Oh,
got
that's
I got a few
brilliant.
things to still do this year.
Yeah,
So
good. Keeping it going all the way through into the middle of the winter. That's
yeah,
great.
I go
We're just
year
running
round.
for the hills.
I go year round, you know.
Yeah.
You know how it is. When we shine that golden light, we just do it. We don't. It's snowing. Oh, all right. That means I gotta shine even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, that's how I feel. When in the darkest of times, you know.
Yep.
It's just like if you see a friend too in their darkest of times. That's the time they need you the most. That's not your time to turn your back on them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
No, it's been great talking. We'll definitely have to have another one too at some point.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So do you guys? I'll leave it open to you guys. If you guys want to share any live music in this moment, if you want to just give a little bit of your heart to any of the public that could be tuning into this, I'll leave
I'd
you
love
guys the
to. We've got
space to be
very
able to
small
share.
batteries.
Blue onyx, Lemurian calcite crystals, raw rising codes, Greek Olympians, Poseidon, Lord of the Sea. I embrace your trident energy. May you implant your trident into the foundation of my being, causing ripples, waves, and earthquakes to the unstable, unsteady, and scattered parts of my mind, body, spirit complex. May your waters bring freshness, revitalize, and rejuvenate my bio and cellular system. My blood is cleansing, and my lymphs are purifying. I am being washed in the beautiful waters of creation as I am being soothed and restored in balance. Thank you, Poseidon.
Let's see. What are you wanting?
We do a little bit.
Did
of
somebody
lean
say live music? Okay.
Uh-oh.
back. Right, be quick. We're on 10%.
I'll be fine.
Oh, are you?
I'll make it.
Oh, perfect timing then.
Don't
Perfect
fall in the
timing.
water, okay?
All right.
Yeah, I'll try not to smash.
Is this
them in
come
the bowl.
tuned?
Mm.
All right, so this song, I did reference it a few times. This one is about realizing you're kind of on a journey, and you're the guy in the chair looking out the window. You're not the guy behind the wheel. That's pretty much, you know.
I love that.
That's pretty much the theme of this. And I know that I'm nowhere old, and my story's untold, and I see where I come from. Bells have been ringing since the beginning, and I've been singing my song. And I leave back knowing everything's fine. There's no need to control, and I leave back. I'm flowing. Everything is gonna be just fine. Just sit back. Enjoy your ride. Yeah. And I'm looking within. I got right in and I see where I come from. Oh, where I go, where I know, but I'll be singing my song and I leave back. Oh, everything's fine, there's no need to control and I leave. I'm just flowing. Everything is gonna be just fine. Just sit back and enjoy your ride. Life is moving by slow. Well, just sit back. Lose control. Then I'm struck down. Life will go on. I'll be singing my song from my knees, and I'm asking for help, sending my new tune if you please. And I leave back. Everything's fine, there's no need to control and I leave. I'm flowing. Everything is gonna be just fine. Just sit back. Enjoy your ride. Yeah. And I lean back, going. Everything's fine, there's no need to control, and I lean. I'm flowing. Everything is gonna be just fine. Just sit back and enjoy your ride. Life is moving by slow. Just sit back. Lose control. All right. That one's lean back there.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
I can't help but think of the river behind you, and I'm saying just lean back and flow, man. It's like you're on a boat and you're just chilling, you know. Sometimes you just got to put the paddle away and just relax and accept that it'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Yes. Wow. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys for this shared space today, and beautiful, beautiful way to close out this podcast. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for having us. And
Yeah,
everybody,
thanks
thanks
so
for
much.
listening out there as well.
If you guys have any questions for either of us, you guys can always reach out to us, and we will gladly be there for you guys. And do you guys have anything coming up that people can tune into? Or also, if you guys want to give your platforms and ways for people to connect with you as well.
Yeah, you can find us, use the @ symbol at GrandRisingBand. That's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at GrandRisingBand. You find us there. We're doing a few things coming up. We've got the Michigan Cider Association has us doing their live music out in Traverse City for a cider tasting this Sunday. And before that, we've got Behind the Pines. Yeah, Picking in the Pines. That's what it's called. Yeah, that's at a campground out in Baldwin. We're going to do like a special Friday performance. That's a free event as well. So if you're in the Upper Michigan area, you can just come check that out. Now we've got Fairyland as well next weekend. It's our last little hoorah, I guess. We'll do Fairyland, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up going down to the Whimsical Collective thing with our friends, the Bloom Within, because we might be passing that way afterward for anybody down in that direction. But that is a retreat down near Pittsburgh. Yeah, just outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, near Eagle, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to that actually.
Yeah, we might end up we might end up being there. We were there recently, and there's a lot of shared spiritual stuff that I really appreciated. Kundalini yoga, especially, which is amazing. But yeah, anybody out there, that's where you could find us, and that's our handles.
Awesome. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate your guys' time and energy and what you guys do. And I look forward to continuing to build and continue to bring the light to the beautiful ways of life.
Dude, you too, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Big love. And we'll see each other again for sure.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
All right, guys. One love. (2023) Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending. Thank you from the Sacred Light Broadcast Network and Sacred Light Productions for tapping in and tuning in to all live and replay content, holistic, conscious, for your empowerment. Tap in to the Christ light within. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember that you are the one that you have been looking for. Enjoy this content. If you would like to collaborate or receive production through myself, Marcus Christolight, direct message or email me at marcustut23@gmail.com to discuss details. Wholeness and balanced love. Ashe.